You might not like it, but this is what the peak male athletic form looks like, and there ain't a fucking thing you can do about it.
And welcome back. It is another Lucius Live. I got my man Fresher Luke here with me. Hey,
Hello.
Fresher Luke.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. All things considered.
Yes.
Doing okay.
I was going to say that. All things considered. These what's that old Chinese curse? May you live in interesting times.
Yeah, I'm not quite certain, to be honest.
I think it's that, but anyway.
But you just reminded me of something to bring up while we're on the air, the YouTube air here. Any major developments coming out of your world?
A few. Maybe we could save them for later, or I don't know.
Just trying to find the link on the sucker. Had some things pulled up. I forgot about this one.
Oh,
I thought it was an interesting. Oh shit! What's it doing?
Well, I will say that. Oh, go ahead. Show us. I forgot what I was going to say. We got a lot of dead air.
Great start to the show.
Well, I know. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm relaxed. You know, I shouldn't be, but I am. And you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time. I mean.
So, amongst other things,
God,
out of nowhere, I don't know the history on this stone, but
me neither.
It cracked in half and then just, I guess it further split away and fell into pieces. But it's a stone that's said to contain a chaotic demon for the past 1,000 years. It just suddenly cracked and fell apart, which is just what an omen to get. And these
did they explain what cracked it or how it cracked, or did it just spontaneously crack?
It did. I guess spontaneously did it, unless somebody may have gone over there and done something to do it. It doesn't take much to like split a stone with the right amount, like key pressure points and stuff.
I guess so. You just put a little.
It can definitely happen.
Got to get the little dent right, because you see the guys doing the
cutting
up the marble with just a a hammer and a couple of picks, right? So.
Yeah, it's crazy, like how clean it can go, how clean it can just split apart like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's part of world news.
Beautiful
world news today, yeah. And I really didn't have much. Like as far as things, everything is kind of depressing right now.
I know.
Despairing.
Shit is getting crazy. Do you have you bought gun and ammunition yet, Lucius?
No. Are you? Do you think I should?
Might be good to get something, because just in case,
it's gonna get that bad.
Perhaps. I mean, everyone says, it couldn't happen here. This is America, but ooh.
What do you think Logan's looking at right there? What do you think's on the other of that picture frame?
Gas prices.
You got it, my man.
From the past. Yeah. Those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
Back when people were actually like utilizing resources to their full extent.
That was probably early 2000s right there.
Probably,
I'm not sure if in the Trump years whoever got it this low. I know I think at one point it tipped under $2, and I was like, damn.
It did.
Yeah. And now look where we're at.
But hey, you know what? All those high gas prices are worth it because of Trump's mean tweets.
Yeah, we don't have them anymore.
Yeah. You did it, guys. Congratulations. All you motherfuckers who voted for Biden out of spite.
We're there. We made progress.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. You succeeded.
And also, I saw this bit on Show Up Today. One of the good news, so long as the world still is there.
Yeah.
Come time. They're going to make a spin-off series involving the Penguin. This is Colin Farrell, I think, stole stole it with it. Like if you had to say somebody was actually acting in this, it would have been him. I can't really see him through this
I know
entire
like
makeup.
the makeup is, he really is able to transform himself in every aspect. It's insane.
Yeah, and he was more like a Sopranos kind of mobster guy. So HBO picking that up is just like a natural fit. And I'm hoping that it becomes successful. But I was delighted to see that. I also really liked him in True Detective season 2. I think he was the saving grace of that season. And that, and there was
we don't really see him in enough stuff, you know.
His heyday was like what, early 2000s?
Yeah, it was like Daredevil or something.
Remember right, he was Daredevil. Yeah, what a horrible like execution on the like look of him. And yeah, he was in Phone Booth. What were some?
Actually, I saw Phone Booth. That was really good. Actually,
I liked it too.
He did a really good job in that.
Him and Kiefer Sutherland.
Well, you never saw Kiefer Sutherland until the very end of the film.
I had no idea who he was at that time. I think that was around the time 24, right? When 24 made him big.
Yeah, around that. He was bigger before that, though. He was in Lost Boys. Yeah, he was a big actor like in the 80s and 90s, and then he kind of like fell off for a little bit, and then he got work again. I was always wondering why that happened.
I guess it's just you finally fit a role, and you blow up. Like Bryan Cranston was mainly comedic work up until Breaking Bad. Like he was the anti-dentite guy in Seinfeld. Yeah, he did a lot of like cameo spots. Then he was the dad in Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
and for whatever reason, Vince Gilligan on Breaking Bad had this theory that like a comedian, it's hard to make a person who's not funny, but it's easy to take somebody who's funny and convert them into and make them serious. And he also cast Bob Odenkirk for the same reason. Bill Burr, like there's a number of like just comedians in Breaking Bad that he just had on there because of that theory of his. And I think he saw Bryan Cranston in the X-Files. There's an X-Files episode that he was in, and that was like kind of what convinced him that he could really do the part. And but since Breaking Bad, you know, how many like major films did he suddenly start popping up in? You know, he was kind of hitting his mark, hitting his stride. You want to
know an interesting fact about Bryan Cranston?
Sure.
Did voice work for the main protagonist in Macross Plus in the English dub.
I didn't know that. That's kind of funny.
Have you seen Macross Plus?
No.
It's a fucking beautiful fucking. Well, it was interesting because it was actually a film, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they localized it to, the West, they split it in two and made it like two OVAs.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually cut out a few little bits in it as well. But anyway, he apparently because he also played, because you know when they did the Power Rangers movie.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever see that? He was in that. I think secretly he's a weeb.
He might be. I think he's a funny dude. So he might just do things just for fun. But I'm sure it's also get whatever gig you can get. Like you never know when the next one's coming.
Well, it just so happens he seems to get like really good gigs. Like, you know, I went and saw the Power Rangers movie. And it was actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good movie, good kids film. Like a lot of action. I mean, there were a few bits here and there. It was a little bit wonky, but for the most part, it was like pretty solid little film.
You know, the voice acting thing that surprised me was knowing that Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was the voice of Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That didn't surprise me at all.
Cartoon. I don't know. I never put it together, and then it was like said to me, and then going back and hearing it, I was like, I couldn't not hear his voice anymore.
You know
Um,
that when what was it? That first U.S. Godzilla film, the really bad one.
yeah, with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, that one.
Hmm.
Well, the cameraman guy is the guy who does the voice for Apu and a bunch of other Simpson characters.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Hank
Yeah,
Azaria or something.
yeah. He's sworn off Apu now because it's a stereotype of Indian people.
It's bullshit, I think.
It's like, yeah.
Actually, I
But
really liked Apu. I thought
yeah.
Apu was probably one of the best characters. But
Well, they gave him like a number of like really good episodes. Like he was like a heartfelt character.
yeah,
The immigration one, the marriage one, where he has a bunch of kids and stuff.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it's so stupid. The wokeness is so stupid.
pretty
But-
much. Yeah.
Yeah, aside from that, man, I just been sinking time on Elden Ring and
Oh,
trying
God.
to get through it, man.
Did you get the wheel weapon?
The wheel weapon, no. There's so much, and it's just like you need to like have like guides and stuff ready to go. The game is so big and shit's so like nested, like
Yeah,
deep in spots.
I think maybe you should put that game down, dude, and not play it.
I'm trying to
I'm
just get through it
serious.
now.
No, I don't like what like. Look, you get through it, and then what are you gonna have to show for it at the end?
Sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, bullshit. I think you should add the word false to the beginning of that.
Oh yeah,
sentence.
there we go.
Yeah.
Entertainment, at least. I'm entertained.
Look, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I do a little gaming, and it's great if you like want to blow off steam, if you had a stressful day and you just want to like relax and just like have a little fun. But I think, you should probably limit it to like maybe an hour, half an hour a day. Personally, but that's just me.
What kind of gaming do you do?
I mostly do city building games. We've talked about this.
Okay.
And look, I look at it and I'm like, what am I really doing here? What am I really accomplishing here right now? Because it's the same set parameters. You're not really making anything new. It's constrained in this tiny little box. You can't kind of bust out of it because obviously, there's a limit to what the programmers and the asset makers can do. So, like, what are you doing? You're just moving a bunch of pixels around on some shit.
It's true. But you can get
could
really...
Instead, you could be using that time to make a fucking kick-ass book, Lucius, which I know the world wants to see from you.
Yeah, they will. For sure. But you could make that reductionist argument about a lot of things.
I feel like video games like its own.
Have you ever thought about what life was like for like cave people, or like
Yes,
really,
I know
like,
what life.
Literally,
I know what life was like because I lived in the era before the internet.
Oh well, I'm talking like prehistoric days. Like what would they do to like pass the time?
Throw rocks.
Although I think there was just so much devoted to just survival.
Well, look,
like there was nothing else to think about.
Basically, yeah. Every moment you could die.
But
if the predators didn't get you, like fucking disease or some shit would get you. And if that doesn't get you, like old age. Well, not even old age. It's like they didn't even have proper sanitation, so they probably died young.
Like I read something where somebody was homeless and jobless or something for a while, and you just like it's so you kind of realize why homeless people have all these issues and like get addictions and stuff. It's just because they have like
stressful
all this free time.
Yeah.
They're kind of, they can at least get like the basic necessities sort of covered, but they're like their entire day is just empty, and they can't go to a restaurant, they can't go to like anything. They don't have any entertainment, so they just like take drugs, get high, and pass the time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know that intimately because I was homeless for a brief period.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man.
I mean,
That sucks.
and maybe I might be homeless again very soon. Who knows? But but no, that's true. It's like it's a very horrible feeling because not only are you like what's the word, frantic to try to I guess make ends meet that day, you then have the next day to look forward to doing the same thing all over again. But on top of that, you're surrounded by people who are doing just fine and they don't give a shit. And it's just adds to the anguish that you're experiencing. And it's just this, I guess the best way to put it is just this knot that just continuously tightens in your chest every day. And it, especially with someone like me who's suffered from acute anxiety in the past, it's like it doesn't really help. And you know, you got to try and find a place to sleep for the night and hope that it's, you know, going to be, no one's going to fuck with you as you're laying there sleeping, and or steal your shit because you're asleep and you can't, you know. So it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, so it sounds like an awful way to live.
It is. It is truly hell on earth. So, yeah, I feel much pity for people who are homeless. It's not a good time. Because the thing is, most homeless people aren't like, they're not like bad people. They're just, you know, they're just ordinary people who have fallen on hard times or have experienced bad luck. And it's, you know, if like things had just turned out a little bit differently, they wouldn't be homeless, you know?
Yeah, there's
anyways,
always those
enough harshing of this vibe.
Yeah.
Let us change subjects.
Sure. What do you got?
Well, we're 17 minutes in. I guess I can talk about it. So, Sacred Gods 2. Let's bring it up. It's you know, it's happening. It's a campaign. It's real. Are you there, Lucius?
Yeah.
You've gone
I was
uncharacteristically quiet.
I was looking through my DMs real quick.
Oh.
And I thought I might have sent the link to a group chat accidentally, but I had not.
Oh.
Reaching out to our man J Money, but he's got people. So
yeah.
God, I hate this new fucking data option on Indiegogo here. It's killing my user experience.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking when they were doing that. But guess what, Lucius? Sacred Gods 2 has exceeded its previous amount. Hooray!
There you go, man. I told you it would happen.
Well, let me tell you the story of how it happened, Lucius.
All right, tell us the story.
There I was, in the woods, naked and alone. As I sat there, it was the middle of the night, and I was cold. I sat there thinking, how can I increase awareness of Forsaken Gods 2? How can I do this? And I thought, well, I got nothing else left to lose as I am naked and alone in the woods in the middle of the night. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to go for broke. And Comicsgate Kings was streaming at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Comicsgate Kings?
Yeah, loosely. Now, was this on Ethan's channel? Was this Billy Tucci's?
Yes, it was on Ethan's channel. So I went over to Ethan's channel, and it was streaming. And, you know, everyone was there. The usual heavy hitter, older men with great careers in comics, all talented people. I was like, all right, I'm gonna send him a super chat. And so I sent him a super chat saying, hey, yo, EVS, can you give my campaign for Sacred Gods 2 a shout out? I worked really hard on it, and I would like people to at least take a look. And I'm glad to see everybody else's campaigns are doing incredibly well. Here's a comment from a recent backer, Mr. Tom O'Mahony. And he did. He gave it a shout out, and I got a bunch of new backers as a result. And it only cost me $50, and that was money well spent. Because here's the interesting thing, Lucius. What I had done previously was I was buying Twitter ads, and they cost more than $50. I won't say how much they cost, but I would probably get. I spent way more than $50 on those, and it got a lot of views and a lot of engagement, but no backers. So I was like, well, this is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very niche market, so it has to be really targeted. So spending it on Comics Get King is obviously like, that's like a whole nest of people looking for something good to back, versus Twitter is just rapid fire, like spray and pray kind of thing. Like, I mean, a lot of people will see it, but most people don't give two shits about comic books.
No, not really. In fact, it was really interesting because it's like, looking at the stats, like the stats were insane. Like the numbers were like better than, say, if I just tweeted it out normally. But it was like the number of click-throughs were good, and just in general, the numbers were, they were good numbers, but they just weren't transferring into backers. But I spent $50 on Ethan's stream for like an hour, and I get freaking, the backer number is up from 121, which it stayed there for like how fucking long? Oh, we got background music?
Yeah,
baby. And so now here we are. I got 19 days left to go, roughly 2 weeks, and it's now exceeded the monetary amount that the first campaign had, and I guess everything, it's, this is a good thing. So
congratulations, dude. That's good.
Thank you. But I mean, let's read Mr. Tom's comment here, which I think is a really interesting comment. He says, I don't read comics, and this thing looks irresistible. Art looks great. Creativity is beyond measure. Also, I should mention, I was turned on to the campaign through EVS's YouTube show. His reaction to the campaign got me to click, but the art got me to buy. And I think that's an amazing endorsement.
Nice, man.
So if
did he play the trailer on his show?
He did play the trailer. Yeah, it was very nice of him to do that. So that's the update from before. Just letting you know. And just like the fact that someone who doesn't buy comics, came to the site, saw it, was impressed, and did buy a comic is. I know that's a huge deal for me, because it means that, the artwork is good, and that the only real problem is just exposure and getting more eyeballs onto this thing, of which I am ill-equipped to do, because that is not part of my skill set. So there you go. Because, there's always that sort of question in the back of your mind, wait, maybe this isn't good? The self-doubt. I think I've covered that before.
You just think I'm full of shit when I say, like, I think you got one of the better projects out there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people will say that, and I'm like, okay, but then if that's true, why is that not translating into better sales? You know what I mean? So, but now we know definitively. Now we know. So.
I do have I don't know if you're willing to answer it or not, but you had been talking about there being an artist that you're looking to book for the cover art to the Volume 1 perk.
Yes.
Here. Who was that? Are you willing to say that who you're trying to?
I can't really. I can't say. It was. But I can't say it was this dude in Argentina. An amazing painter. And I was really blown away with his artworks. But the thing is, he also like charged a hell of a lot. I mean, it was worth it. Like, his artwork is absolutely phenomenal. And probably in the future, maybe when I come out with like the definitive edition or something, I'll probably hit him up maybe for it. But every time I kind of reveal who the artists are that I'm kind of trying to court to make artwork for my campaigns, like other people, catch wind of it and they go and actually get them. I'm just like, you fuckers. Fuck you. Like Tim Lim's done that to me a couple of times. So, yeah.
Now, you had the pillow art for Derek, but it's not here on the campaign.
It's not, but I can show it here on the stream if you want.
Yeah, do that.
All right.
Do you have plans? I mean, if you don't like the body pillow
we're probably not going to. I mean,
thing, are you gonna
I do have plans. I mean, I paid for the goddamn artwork. I'm not gonna throw it away. It'll probably be. I think part of it is people aren't familiar with Derek, so it kind of isn't landing with them. They just don't understand the joke. So it might be something that I. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. It might be just something where I gotta do this differently. This is such bullshit. I hate this. It might just be that I've got to do a few more issues before I actually and get people familiar with Derek before I actually offer that as a perk. So it's not going away. It's just taking a hiatus real quick, and it'll come back in the future. Because the thing is, getting body pillows made is like kind of expensive. So
now you're just gonna send like the sheet for it. You'd have to like get the pillow yourself, right? But like the person ordering it have to get the full-length pillow themselves.
Yeah. So it is the pillow cover, is what you're saying, right? Yeah. No, that is true. Which one should I show the full body or just half the body?
Your choice.
All right. Why won't? Come on. All right, there we go. And then I go over here and I go share screen, Chrome tab. There we go. There it is.
Yeah, it always takes forever.
I know. It's like because before you could just like share like a file, but I don't know. It's something weird about this one. So anyway, there it is. Wait, I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. So Miss Sashi did this, and she did a pretty good job. I think it was worth the amount of money that I commissioned her for. She put a little bulge in there. Look at that. It's pretty good. In general, it's like really, really good. I really like it. I'm really pleased with this. It's a pity that the stretch goal isn't happening, but it's
one day.
What it is. One day. Certainly a day in the future. Most definitely. So yeah. There it is.
So then I take it there will be more Forsaken Gods to come. Maybe not the next project, but
you would be correct in that.
Yeah.
I found something, man. But I looked at it and it was like really bad. I was like, I'm not showing this to anyone. Like, I got to redo this. So I'm going to be doing another one, which I'm not going to announce just yet because obviously I got to write it and draw it. But we'll see. Like right now, the world is kind of going to hell. So, and I've kind of got to focus on making sure my head doesn't go below water right now. So, but I am keen to make some more because I think I was talking to 3D Zach a little while ago where he said he was kind of laying it out. He's like, well, you might not, get like big numbers on the first campaign or the second campaign. And I can't remember if he said it'll be the third campaign that you'll start to break through. Or if he said it was the fourth campaign. I think it was the third campaign that he said. But I'd have to check in with him and ask him that again. So, but the new project I have, I think is going to be, people are going to respond to it, hopefully. I mean, knock on wood, fingers crossed. I've always said that before, and people are just like, not interested. So, it is what it is. Anyway, so that's where we're at. That's the campaign. Hooray!
Sweet.
So anyway, what about this? Don't say gay bill. What's all that about?
I don't even know. I haven't looked into particulars. Do you know the specifics about it?
Yeah, I do.
We'll cover them, man. I'm just sure it's just I'm seeing stupid reactions where
yes, That is accurate.
It's-
They are very stupid reactions.
No, it's literally people like copy pasting gay and like tweeting it at DeSantis or something. Like I'm just like, yeah,
Disney.
it's
Towards Disney.
yeah,
Towards Disney. Yeah.
that's really gonna do it. I'm sure they're just all their they have bees in their bonnets. They're all their jimmies are rustled, and they will be changing everything.
Well, in order to understand the brouhaha, first you have to understand the kinds of people we're dealing with here. Okay, these are completely psychopathic, indoctrinated morons. Okay, just laying the foundation here of this argument, because one, if none of them actually read the bill, because if they had read the bill, it has nothing to do with what they're claiming it has to do in regards to being anti-gay. It's got everything to do with teachers not being allowed to discuss in a classroom setting anything about gender, identity, or sexuality. Doesn't mean that they can't discuss it with individual students, and it doesn't mean they can't discuss it through a special presentation. It just means in a general thing, like, you know, teachers can't just make it, I guess, open discussion in an open classroom that's part of class, right? Because, you know, kids shouldn't really be, I guess, exposed to that 24/7, you know what I mean? Especially like young kids.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, once again, if these people are saying don't say gay, they're either A, as I've already stated, didn't read the bill, or B, really into grooming children. These are the only two conclusions you can come to when these people talk like this. And lo and behold, I made a prayer to God, and I said to God, please, God, make my enemies absolutely ridiculous. And God heard my prayer, and guess what he did? A Disney employee who maybe you might be familiar with, Lucius, because I've kind of mentioned her before. A woman by the name of Dana Terrace. Do you know about her?
Yeah, you mentioned her. Mm-hmm.
So for the viewers who are unaware, Dana Terrace is the creator and showrunner of a Disney children's television show called The Owl House, which has heavy themes or implied themes of lesbian relationships between the main character and the main antagonist. And she had a few choice words to say to Disney about this particular bill, because, as once again I've already said, she didn't read the bill. Because if she had read the bill, she wouldn't have said the things she would say. Not only on top of that, all of her simp followers have come out and gone, oh, Dana's so brave, fighting against Disney and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there going, what the fuck is this bullshit? This is crazy. These people are absolutely moronic, indoctrinated, smooth-brained, peanut-minded, dog food perception. I know that was a bit of a word salad, but you get what I mean. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on this, Lucius?
I think parents are waking up, mainly because, I mean, they're making a grab for it. It's kind of the last like land that hasn't been conquered, like the rights, how much has been given up, and now they're coming for your children.
Yeah, they're coming for their children. Well, that's the thing. Like, homosexual people can't procreate. They can't have their own kids, so they have
they could.
They have to have yours. Well, no, by their nature, homosexual people.
Listen, they're just gonna have to get over it if they want kids. They can have their own.
If they want
just
kids,
have to get
they
over
can take yours, and that's what they're trying to do. And this is what I've kind of been saying from day one, ever since I got ousted from the animation industry. These people are playing with fire because they are trying to get between parents and their kids And that's how cults work. Okay? That's the first thing cults do when they're indoctrinating new members. They separate the new inductees from their family. Because when you isolate them from their family, then all of a sudden you become the new parents. And that's the creepy thing about cults. And that's why these people they're all in a cult. They are all creepy ass psychopathic cult members.
I would say so, yeah. I mean, it's been a long way to get there, but everyone who is saying, they're gonna. Somebody posted like on Twitter. I think at this point we can confirm the slippery soap is no longer a fallacy.
Yeah,
because people were like, "Oh, next thing you're gonna want to normalize is pedophiles and
I mean
that's and things like that."
Yeah, that's like the next step there, because I mean already, like, you've got the maps.
Yeah, what does that stand for again? Like I knew they came
minor attracted person.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
bullshit. It's just
Yeah.
it's just the PC way of saying you're a fucking pedo, motherfucker, and you need to get put in the wood chipper.
And it's like, okay, there may be some truth to this. Yes, they are psychologically screwed up. It doesn't mean though that we're gonna like coddle them or treat them like in a way that it's just like, no, you're kind of out of the game. Like that's it.
You have avoided the
lost.
social contract, sir.
Yes.
Well, I find it really annoying because for some reason these people are getting a pass amongst those motherfuckers. And then those same motherfuckers turn around and they accuse me of being a pedophile when it's like what the fuck, guys? How can that be true? I hate children. Taco Bell. Oh my god. And they all start beating him up. That's hilarious. So anyway, yeah, good segue. I like it. Yeah, gas is crazy. God damn, is it crazy.
I mean, we're kind of hitting the 2008 levels, at least from like gas prices where I'm at, and that was just like.
Wait, what were gas prices in 2008?
It was like over $4 where I'm at. That's right where it's back again. Right when like the economy was tanking, but gas was on the increase all the time. There was every fucking excuse for why. War efforts. Oh, hurricane hit the refineries. It was just always another reason that it went up another like $50, whatever. I think it was, and you could look at the breakdown on it. A lot of it was speculation, just pure speculation, and OPEC and the markets and stuff just basically deciding what they wanted the price to be and making all sorts of money. I mean, they were rigging the system. Essentially, that's what I feel is happening right now. Same way.
That's what these motherfuckers have been doing for long time.
For the past 3, 4, 5 years, like hardcore.
I would say longer than that, dude. Like
but now it's so in your fucking face, like mask mandates.
Oh yeah,
you need the vaccine.
Massively, it's so massively blatant. But the reason it's so blatant now is that we have the internet. We have other people going, look at this, and people are going, hey, you're right. It's like, in a way, the internet. While the internet is sort of has its problems, right? It also has its pros as well, like its benefits. So,
and I can't believe how many people are just so stupid. They're like, oh well, I got an electric car, I don't need gas. And it's like, where do you think your fucking electricity comes from, man? Like,
but this is the thing. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying, like, remember back when AOC proposed the new Green New Deal? And it got shot the fuck down. And they, like, these motherfuckers do not know when to stop, and when they're beaten, they go, well, you know what? If we can't get it done officially, let's get it done in other ways. And that's what this is. This is them implementing the Green New Deal without putting it to a vote. They're just gonna fucking do it, force feed it through the fucking system, like hand fist.
Pretty much. But I mean, it's just like there's a whole set of bigger problems I think that comes from the electric car than just having gas. It's just like we really haven't, like, yes, we've reimagined the wheel. It's not better. Like, this is a battery that when it catches fire they can't do anything about. It's completely toxic when it does burn, and
Yeah.
there's no great way of disposing it. And the entire process of even getting the lithium, I believe it's a lithium, all the rare metals and stuff that they need to make them happen, like that is so energy consumptive. It's like you guys are only looking at the lifespan of the car itself, not like everything before and after. And it's so myopic, and it just makes me it makes me rage at the world in a way. I'm just despair ridden, like riddled with despair over.
Like, tell me this, Lucius. Like, what is this thing about America where one side seems to get incredibly stupid and bullheaded, and then the other side's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, it seems to like flip flop. Like back in the like 80s and 90s, it was the people on the right, and it was about evolution and religion and other stuff. And now it's on the other side. Like, has it got to do with rich people going,
I think it's just,
you know, we did it with the right and that didn't work, so now we're going to do it on the left, and hopefully that will work.
Dude, everyone in the political system, they're all in on it together. Don't fool yourself into thinking there's sides. Like, there's them talking back or basically playing the system to get themselves in power, but they're all working on the same things. Like, they're all in on it together.
So is this like some grand orchestra or some grand theater?
I think for America at least, it's a managed decline. It is them selling off our assets and making money off of it while they do, and also they don't mind doing it to other places too. You know, Biden's kid, Nancy Pelosi's kid, and somebody else's kid are on like these like Ukraine.
Not somebody else's kid.
I forget, but I mean, it's like another big politician. Like, they have their kids over in Ukraine on these energy boards and shit, like making millions. Like they're entirely running like the whole Hunter Biden art selling and stuff. That's just favors sold. That's just them laundering money through his paintings bought by other world dignitaries or whoever for influence, and it's just them selling out us for profit at this point. That's what I think it is. Bullshit. And it's it's not just been Democrats, it's been Republicans too, outsourcing jobs, bringing in underpaid labor. All this stuff has just been undercutting the average person here, but benefiting them. Like, they're making bank off of this. They declare a war, they invest in the companies going to war. They make mandates, they invest in the places running the whole thing.
We gotta, dude, like, somebody has to like form a militia and storm the Capitol and arrest them.
well. Don't go. Shh. Don't say too much.
But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like they are literally burning the house down around us.
Yeah.
Like, when they are actively like dumping gasoline everywhere, lighting a match, you don't just sit there and go, no, wait, stop, oh no. You go, you pull out the finger guns, and you say, you stop right there, motherfucker. You're not gonna fucking burn this shit down. I gotta live here.
And just this whole recent Russia thing, like it's not even unpersoning, the demonizing of anything Russia.
Well, you want to know
it's
something?
Just so, like, when the cats get it too, the cats on the internet get it too. It's just like,
you want to know? You want to know something really interesting? Coming back to what we talked about previously, Dana Terrace speaks Russian.
It's an interesting language choice.
Interesting, yeah, very interesting language choice. I'm wondering what's going on here. You know?
I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of great. Like, what is your end goal by doing this? If people do that, like, there are people in Russia that aren't with this whole thing. It's not as if they decided on this.
Yeah.
Like dumping Russian vodka, like my girlfriend was like, yeah, they're like not gonna sell vodka anymore. Like, I fucking like vodka, and I would buy Russian
Dude, every time
as a mixer. I liked it.
Every time I've tried to drink it, I just get like a massive migraine.
I mean, everyone's different, but it was
Like,
it was
I
one of
don't
my
even-
go-tos.
I don't even have to get drunk. I just got to drink like a little bit, and it's just like my head just feels like it's splitting in half.
But I would get the Russian standard vodka, and I have no idea, like, what ties it had to Russia, how much money is making it to Russia itself on that. It's just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. Like, this is so stupid. Kind of things. Now, I think the whole situation over there is super fucking complicated. I'm not well enough educated to like really speak too in depth on it, other than I'm just like, I have no stake. I don't really have any stake. I think it's fucked up that
technically we do have a stake,
which is
$54 a pound. That's how much steak is. Look, here's the thing. Here's the real question, Lucius. This is the real question everyone should be asking.
Which is what?
We don't allow elderly people to drive, but we do allow elderly people to drive the country.
Yeah, I heard that. What is Putin's 69 or something like that?
How old's Biden?
I
He's
don't
in
even
his
know.
70s, dude.
Yeah,
He's an old man.
he can't even keep his thoughts.
Where is the law saying anyone who is in some form of...
Well, they have that amendment.
Which
like
one?
The 20. I think it's the 25th or something like that. Like, where if they're deemed like unable to do the job, they can be replaced. Like, they were trying to bring that up on Trump, like, at one point.
Well, the problem was he was doing the job. He was doing the job so well they didn't like it because it meant they weren't getting rich. It meant everybody else was.
He was saying mean things and blah blah blah.
Oh, boo fucking who. You know what? Sometimes the best leaders are the ones who say things that you don't like. And that's the fucking truth. You don't really get to choose your messenger, you know? It's so bullshit. This is such bullshit, dude. I can't believe this. You know? It's like I came here. I came to this country because, you know, it promised me wealth and opportunity. And for a brief moment, I got to taste it. And it was glorious. But now it's like, it's so fucked. Like, what kind of mind does it take to intentionally break something that works? You know? It's so dumb.
Oh, and it's not just one; it's a whole collection of people. That's
where it gets worse. Yeah,
I get more annoyed by the useful idiots below who
dude,
act as if it's like this great coming of the next stage. It's like, what in what world? What we consume? I think it's something like 300 million gallons of gas a day. So we're literally paying pretty much double what we were paying a couple years ago, and that alone is trillions of dollars of difference.
Yeah,
like over the course of the year, it's trillions of dollars. We're paying more, literally affected by these people, and it's not going to stop there. It's going to go to everything else too. This was like in 2008. I remember seeing like the gas prices hit like $4, somewhere around there. And that's pretty much right when the economy collapsed, and then it went right back down to like $2 or something like that. Like, it was just like the whole speculation part of it crashed because the economy crashed and nobody was going to pay that much for gas. But yeah, it was, you know, your economy cars, your gas economy cars, $60, $80 to like fill them up, which is just like crazy to think about. And not only that, you went to your... Like, this is where I feel like we just had inflation hit on like prices, food prices and stuff like that. This gas hike is gonna, like, you're gonna see that double it up. Like, there's gonna be another wave of like price increases on everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones people are feeling now, that's from this past year and a half of nobody working, handing out stimulus checks, printing money, and all that. Like, and it's just worked its way down. This is really you're gonna feel it this summer. I have no idea how long they're gonna milk this thing for, but if they're talking $6, $7 nationwide gas prices,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what's in
We're
it
gonna
for somebody who just like you have to drive, you know, an hour to work, an hour back every day,
Yeah.
and you just have a job. You don't have like your 1 day, 2 days of your work week is devoted just to your fuel expenses.
Yeah.
Like what's in it for that person to go to work anymore? Like their entire reason is getting eaten up, and it's going to go to their heating costs, their cooling costs, everything you buy. It's all tied down to oil. Like I don't think people know just how like this is the blood of the world is oil. Like, so.
Well, the thing is, you know, we need that so that we can transition gradually to clean, renewable energy. But that's the thing; it's gradual. It's not like instantaneous, right?
Well, it's just so limited. You can get it. You know, you got your hydroelectric power plants, and
it's an iteration problem, because it's like, what are we in, like second, third generation of solar and others, right?
Yeah, but
like
7 billion people on this planet, there's no fucking way everyone's going to be green. Like, there's just no way. I mean, there's kind of a crisis on what to do with fuel and oil production as it is. Some new development, they were able to take what was shale oil, you know, mix of sand and oil, and somehow refine that to get the oil out of it that they couldn't before. So that like kind of opened up a whole nother like network of oil. But I mean, this stuff gets really limited.
Yeah.
Your whole thing about having a gun, you'll want that. You'll want to have gun and ammunition. I forget what the top supplies are like in a scenario like that. I think kerosene was something, and things like cigarettes and alcohol are like highly tradable. Like there's all sorts of things. I forget what
ammunition will be the new currency.
You know, I mean, your paper money means nothing, and you got to consider too. Everything now is e-money, and we just seen they'll. I mean, look at Russia right now. Like, what do those people have? They're like, Netflix is like, oh, we're not. Who are you really hurting? You just showed that if you wanted to, you will shut down entire countries, like access to basic services and things like that. I think even like Google Maps, they can't even use Google Maps over there. Imagine all of a sudden that's gone. Like all your GPS, all your shit.
That's what they're gonna do that to us next.
I mean, that's basically the message, though. I mean, look at the trucker convoy.
They're already there. Yeah, they're doing laps right now.
So, I mean, it's this is our Brave New World 1984 cocktail.
This is such bullshit. Because they didn't have to do any of this. This is such bullshit. They don't care, man. They do this because they get pleasure out of seeing other people suffer.
There's probably that, but they're the oligarchs. They're the ones in power. They'll never feel it the same way. That's
why I'm saying you get out the guillotine, man.
There's a point where it will come down. Like, it's just like this can only go on so long, and you better make sure you're the hell out of Dodge when it does go down. But it's not good for anybody.
No.
When that happens. Just need a Tale of Two Cities. You know, that's what you need to read. There's your future right there. Best of times, worst of times. I mean, it's never been better in so many ways, and then it's just like, yet it's so monstrously bad too.
So do you think now's the time to crack each other's heads open and feast on the goo inside, Lucius?
Those days might come. I don't know. I guess there's something to learning how to start your own cult, you know? Study up on the greats.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to do.
That's probably where it's going to go after that. I mean, essentially...
Yeah. If you got enough charisma, you can do it. So.
Like you're asking, like, how did the left become this almost reverse image of what the right was in the 80s, 90s. It's an orthodoxy. You speak the lines and you see it. Like the moment they change think of the media as the church. The moment they change the story, all these people just eat it up. And you see the people calling it out like, you're all for Ukraine's freedoms. You weren't for your own fucking freedoms or your children's fucking freedoms.
Months ago, you went for that.
So
everyone's
who are you?
forgotten about COVID. You know what this is really all about? You really want to know what this is all about?
What is it? Tell me.
They are trying to make things so bad that everybody in comparison forgets about the Epstein scandal, because they were all implicated.
I mean that was forgotten about almost a week afterwards. I know people keep bringing that up, but
but I think think about it. This all started when Epstein started and Trump started looking into it, and then that's when things started to go crazy, or were like started to build up to getting to the level of crazy we're at now. Like, you know, once that happens, you got to think, I feel like there's somebody pulling a lever somewhere, putting their hands on a particular scale. Because you think about it, all the the judge sealed all of the records of who Epstein's clients were, and we know for a fact Bill Clinton was one of those people. A former president was one of his clients, because they found those paintings of him in Little Girl Island.
Yeah, right? him and Monica Lewinsky's dress, the blue dress or whatever.
Yeah,
just like,
right. It's like,
what the fuck? What would you do if somebody like ever like you go over? Let's remove the entire like gross underground shit.
Sure.
You just went over to somebody's place and there was a painting of you in a dress and whatever. Like, wouldn't you just be like weirded the fuck out? Like, I would.
But here's the thing: he posed for that painting, dude.
Jesus.
All right, just let that sink in. And it wasn't just one painting; it was 3 paintings. Okay, 3 of them.
I know.
If Bill Clinton, a former president, is somehow implicated to this, and a millionaire or billionaire like Bill Gates is also implicated. It's like, how deep does that go? And so you've got a lot of very powerful people who are, sweating bullets, going, we got to do something about this and make sure that, because if the people, start to put 2 and 2 together and start, thinking too much about this, we're going to be in deep shit. And so I think they hatched a plan. I think they were like, start pulling out all the stops, start throwing the kitchen sink at this thing, and start creating so much noise that everyone's too distracted to start concentrating on this too much. I think that's what this is all about, really, when it boils down to it.
Yeah, it's just it's I think it's grander scope than we even realize. I think this is almost like handed down. It's like a marathon or something. Like they're just handing the baton to the next person. I think this is leagues of people that have just been in on it. So it's like even like there's talk about the Clinton dynasty and the Bush dynasty and all these things, just because it was like you got the father, you got the son, or somebody in the same campaign. It was supposed to be Hillary after Bill. Then Obama came in and kind of messed that up, but then he got pretty much entangled in the web as well. And it just goes on and on. Like it's just like it eats them all up. They all become part of the Borg or whatever. The fucking grafted grotesque creature that is part of this network.
And then along comes Trump. And actually shows them how to lead.
It's crazy. I think he will probably be in the history books written as like the worst, but it's like
no,
it was
I don't
a light.
Think so.
Well,
look, Trump reminds me of one of the presidents of old, like Theodore Roosevelt is probably the big one that comes to mind, just because of, like, if you think about Theodore Roosevelt, like that guy, he was kind of like Trump, he was kind of like a bit brash,
Well, he was more of a, I think he was somewhat an outsider. He
But I
got
mean, like,
notor.
he was such a good president that they fucking carved his face on a fucking mountain, dude.
Hmm. No, he was great. And the
I
other
know,
thing
right?
was he was about more than just his presidency. Like he was in like that Rough Riders, whatever. Like he was all about
Yeah,
like getting out there and doing
he was a
shit, and
he was a fucking yeah. He was a true man, a true leader, and
literally got shot on his.
literally, yeah, I remember that. Like he fucking got shot, and I was like, well, I got shot. I'm gonna go deliver my speech now.
Yeah,
He
like
just kind of like brushed it off, dude. Like what the fuck? Like that's fucking uber Chad, you know?
no, yeah. I don't necessarily know. I would put Donald Trump with him, but like, yeah, they're definitely in
Well,
that same
I
vein.
wouldn't put him with him, like per se, like neck and neck, but like he definitely reminds. He's got that air of sort of Theodore Roosevelt about him. Like
He was a real estate mogul in New York City, in the 80s and 90s. Like, I mean, this guy had to brush shoulders with probably all sorts of people
sure,
and make shit happen, you know, and was successful multiple times over.
yeah,
It's just like everyone wanted to call him idiot. It's like, all right, I'll give. They were like, oh, he got money from his dad. Okay, I'll give you $1 million. Let's see you go out and like suddenly turn that into billions of dollars and not your do whatever. Like, and it's not only just one avenue. It was beyond like the real estate. He had his
stakes.
Yeah, he did have that. I mean, there's the whole. I mean, he has his brand. That's
Yeah.
kind of the biggest thing he has is a brand. And then there was Celebrity Apprentice, and then he runs for president and wins. I don't know, like how many people can have a resume like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. He's like a true blue American. Like he's I don't know, the American. He's the epitome of the American dream, or the American male of how American men used to be. Now these days they're all just like these fat, slovenly, soy boys who complain about their feelings and bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it's like we got a true president for a brief moment, and they hated him for it. They hated him for every fiber of their being, and they demonized him. And he was trying to fix things. It's like fucking hell. Who are these psychopaths?
I don't get it. I don't get it, but and especially like I try to like people in my own life, and I'm very selective because I just know like what I am speaking to. Like it's like I'm not talking to a person. I'm talking to like a narrative. Like anytime I go in on it,
yeah,
and try to like literally be like, okay, name something, just anything. Give me something concrete. Tell me one thing that he did, and the thing that they hate more is like they'll say something. I'll be like, okay, let me look it up. Let me maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something, yeah, that's true. And then I'll look it up and I say, okay, where'd you get this? Because I'm not seeing it like over and over again. And
yeah.
I'm telling you, it's poison in any relationships. So I rarely ever do it. Like I know a host of people. I don't know anybody in my own personal life who's like personally like pro or like has any of the same kind of allegiances I do, but and I'm willing to like live with that. Like I'm just like, okay, there's all the other things in the world to talk about, but
it's
how
like,
can you be so like, because it eats them up. I don't know what it is. Like I hate Joe Biden. I don't like him. I don't like this his board, anybody in his cabinet. Like I don't like anyone in his administration. Like
well, yeah. None of them can do their fucking jobs, dude. They're doing a horrible job.
But it's not like every day in my life I'm going out there and going against it. I just like to like glibly say like, well, didn't happen. Like I'll be like, didn't have this before Joe Biden. Like I just like to throw it out there casually, but I don't really go further. Like I'm not like every day.
Well, I mean, I mean, I don't either, but it's like, it's getting to a stage now where things are getting so bad where it's like now, I'm starting to actually start to say, this is getting like, he is not doing this. Like, this is getting desperate, right? This is getting very dire. Okay. Like when food starts becoming more expensive and people start getting hungry, then you're going to start seeing some shit fly, dude. Like people,
the
Ooh.
scarier thing is like we're barely over a year in.
Yeah.
That's all the time that's elapsed.
Like this guy is like worse than Jimmy Carter. And like Jimmy Carter wasn't like actively trying to like fuck things up. He was just like not good at it. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy Carter's still a class act. He just wasn't very good at it, and he was trying to do his best. But like this guy's just actively just fucking shit up. Like that's what evil is. Like to do things intentionally. That's evil.
I mean, I don't know that he had the foresight, but it's just like, why would you take things off the table? Why would you shut down a huge energy like pipeline?
Because this is part of the doomsday cult of environmentalism. That's what I mean. They're all part.
But they don't believe it. It's all like this is their way of.
When you are in a cult, you don't know you're in a cult until one day you wake up and it's long after all the damage is done and you realize, oh, I guess I did do all that shit, and it's way too late by then, right? That's the whole thing about cult membership or people who have been in a cult when they get deprogrammed. Like they look back and they're like, holy shit, I was like a totally different person. You know what I mean? Like take it from somebody who has been in the middle of something like this. When I was in the animation industry, right? Like I look back on it, I'm like, holy shit, I was one of these motherfuckers, right? And they are horrible because I was one of them. I know exactly what they're fucking like. And it's not like when you are in the midst of it, like all that noise just seems like, all that how to put it, all that bullshit just turns into white noise, and then that white noise just becomes like every day, and you become used to it, and so you don't notice it. It's so subtle and it's so seductive. You don't even know it's happening until one day you turn around and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you go, "What the fuck have I become? What is going on here?" And then that's when you have like a mental and nervous breakdown, and you realize, "Holy shit, what have I become?" Those people haven't, and that's the thing. Everyone deals with it in their own way when they come to that realization. Some people like some very disturbed people who can't handle it. They end up, self-deleting. Unfortunately, others like go through mental breakdowns, and others just live in denial. Like it's the whole gamut,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing here. This is the environmentalism cult built on this false bed of like, the world's going to, the sea level's going to rise in 15 years. And they say that every 15 years. It's like a combination of like the new grift or the new whatever. And, tying that into, this bizarre, like, I don't know, abolishment of fossil fuels and meat and the beef industry and all this other shit. And it's just like reached this bizarre fever pitch now. Like, and you're right. It's like all those useful idiots are the ones you got to worry about because they are literally as dumb as mud. As long as what they're being told is being told the right way by the right people to them, they'll go along with it because they're not thinking for themselves because they're lazy. They're mentally lazy. It takes effort to think for yourself and stand up for yourself, right? And decide, you know what, I'm not going to do that. That takes like, actual agency, which they've decided, you know what, that's too much work. Just fucking tell me what to do and I'll go along with it as long as I keep, I get to keep all the resources or be given stuff or whatever. It's fucked. It's so fucked up. Like that is so anti against, the American ideal or the American spirit, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Was that? I feel like I rambled for way too long. Did any of that make any sense?
No, I mean the thing is, I think people they're too used to what they got. Like they don't know what they're giving away.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably a better way of putting it. Actually,
like if you were, and even when the Revolutionary War happened, it wasn't as if it was like everyone was on board. You had your loyalists and you had the rebellion, I guess, side of it. Like there were people split on it. People who wanted to stay part of the British colony, But other people, I mean, dude, they revolted over much less, much less than what's happened in these past couple of years, in my opinion. But yeah, people don't know what they're giving away. They don't know what they think it's a win when they can shut down Joe Rogan, and it's just like, you don't understand. That was a loss. Even for you, that's a loss.
Yes.
Because you might have benefited from something he might have said. And at least you're challenged on the notion of your own beliefs. How do you know what you know besides the fact that somebody told you it? Your core principles.
Well, yeah, that's the mental laziness. Like, they're all about short-term satisfaction in sacrificing long-term.
And I saw something where it was like a Republican, some kind of Republican group that was at a college, and literally the entire, like, there was a student body that filled up the place only to like slam on the tables and chant. There's hold on, let me pull it up real quick. I'll share your screen here while I find what I'm looking for. What do we got here?
So, did you hear about this?
No, what is it?
So, this is a Kickstarter. This has been doing the rounds, and everyone's been losing their shit. And I think even Clint Stoker did a video about it. This guy named Brandon Sanderson, which is a pretty crazy name. I gotta say, it's kind of cool. He raised $26 million for 4 novels that he wrote. And it's he's changing the game for publishing. Basically, he wrote four novels, raised all this fucking money, and now Twitter's like losing its shit because somebody who isn't them is more successful than them, I guess.
Just you want to make enemies, just be successful.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this crazy shit, dude. Look at what he's done. Like, he's done the impossible. He's changed the game. But yeah, he's got all the cool tiers where it's like, if you pay $360, you get plus shipping. You get a year of his books and ebooks. So you get it every quarterly ebooks, 8 swag boxes, all this amazing shit. And I'm just looking at this going, you know what? This is a fucking good idea. Because I think it was at the beginning of Comicsgate, somebody floated this as an idea where you pay like there's like one tier where you pay like something like $500 and you get like a subscription where you're guaranteed to get a book like, once, I think, a month or every 3 months or something.
Right. I mean, it sounds great, but there has to be the guarantee. That's the thing. It's like everything crowdfunding, but
well, I mean, there is a guarantee. He said he's finished all these books. They're done.
Okay.
Those books are done. He's written them already. They're all done. So
and while it's great for him, I see other people that are just gonna fuck this up. They're gonna do the same thing and then not deliver, or just run away with the money. Like it starts great, and I don't know who this guy is, but if you have a name, you can probably make this work. If you're nobody, I don't think you can make it work.
I mean, I'd be interested to try it out somehow, just as an experiment to see what would happen. I probably couldn't pull it off because now I'm a nobody. Yeah, he's got what?
114,000.
114,000, dude. That's fucking crazy. But I mean, again, Brandon Sanderson is I haven't heard of him before, but apparently he's like a big, he's a writer who's got, a big fan base because he's done a lot of previous work that people have really liked. And I say, you know what? More power to this guy. I'm glad he made all that money. Good on him. Good on him. We can only ever aspire to be as industrious and successful as he has been. So good on you, Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, so this is if you want to see kind of the breakdown of like free speech, especially on campuses, this is a great thing to watch here. This is by Benjamin A. Boyce. the complete evergreen story. This is covering from when Brett Weinstein,
Got ousted.
I guess, well, he had sent out some email. Essentially, the core crux of this is Evergreen State College was this weird hippie's dream of a fucking college.
Yeah,
where
I'm familiar with the story. I followed it closely. Yeah,
uh,
because Benjamin Boyce used to be wasn't he a student of?
yeah, and so I mean, this is covering it all. There's like 20 something parts to this whole thing, and he covers it pretty well from the start. But what kicks it off is apparently for people of color, there was going to be a day where they didn't want white people to show up to campus, and they would be white friends, white allies, or something like that. White allies don't need to show up. And then Brett Weinstein's like, well, this is kind of forcing people who are white not to show up, because if they do show up, you're automatically listing them as an enemy.
Yeah.
And all this other, like, so he was just like, this is kind of messing with freedoms, and a whole fucking cascade of shit happens after this.
Yeah, there was when they formed groups and were like,
they held the faculty hostage, dude.
Yeah.
They held the faculty
but that's the thing, like the guy, the head of it, right? The bald motherfucker with the glasses, completely, like, you know, his balls like shriveled up and curled up into his abdomen because he didn't have a fucking spine to stand up to a bunch of fucking retarded kids.
And this essentially killed Evergreen College as like a degree, like people stopped going there.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, like anyone that has a degree from there is like deemed kind of worthless. And I would say this whole incident made all college degrees worth less.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, this was just like a complete eye opener for people, but it is astounding. You might know details about it, but to see it go down, like he's step by step going through, like day by day.
Well, yeah,
event by event.
This is part of fifth generational warfare. Like, this is how you dismantle, you know, infrastructure that is used to like elevate poor people. Like, you start with education. Like people, like an uneducated populace is a useless populace. You know, they just resort to barbarism because they, you know, like the things that make societies great is higher learning, like people learning I guess much more complicated subjects than they would say in like primary school or high school, right? Like primary school and high school is supposed to just cover like the basics, like math and maybe social studies and stuff like that. Home economics and stuff like that. But you know, you're supposed to go to college to like learn to be like a doctor, like a particular useful and specialized profession, like a doctor or an engineer, right, or a lawyer or something like that. But it's like somewhere along the line, fucking, you know, a particular nasty motherfucker introduced the idea of communism in, and it's just, communism is just going to do what communism does, which is it's designed to destroy societies, and that's what's happened. So, and because kids are so open-minded, they're going to go along with it because it promises them so many things that it will never deliver, but they're too dumb to realize it. It's like, it's so easy to play tricks on kids, right? Because they're too naive to figure out that, you know, they're getting a fast one pulled on them.
Well, I think it's just an easy sell to make it be like everything that's wrong in your life or the people you know, like their life, that's because of this system. And you know what we need to do? We need to take the system down and then insert your ideology here. Kind of takes over.
Yeah, and then we replace this system. That sounds great, doesn't it, guys? Yeah, let's fucking do it. Yeah, go ahead, do it. That'll be great, right? Yeah.
But yeah, on
perfect way to destroy your enemy state from the inside out. If you got an opposing country who hates you, it's the perfect way to do it. Get them while they're young, and then the next generation that comes up will be completely useless.
This specific series, I only got to, I think, episode 3 and finished that. I couldn't go any further because it was getting so rage-inducing to watch it happen. Yeah. Like they're like essentially they lock down Brett Weinstein. They surround him like 20 people. Everything they do, they film. even the shit that makes them look bad, but they don't think they look bad.
Yeah.
They're all on their cell phones filming themselves at all times, so it's all pretty well documented. It got to a point where they came up with this invisible canoe of
What?
of like hierarchy of voices or whatever. You know, it's like the
An
Occupy
invisible,
Wall Street. You know, like
an invisible canoe. What?
yes, this dude uses this metaphor of a canoe,
That's
and he has
invisible.
people line up. I'm pretty sure it was. I don't think they had a physical one. It would have been the third episode. If I can find it here. Let me go back. But yeah, this will be eye-opening.
Oh, we're not gonna play it.
No, I'll just scrub through and find a part where they're like lined up. Maybe I made it to episode 4.
Ooh. Anyway.
Wait. There's this dude.
Yeah, I can already tell
here.
he's gonna be trouble. Yeah, look at that fucker.
This guy, he's like, we're on a canoe, and they just line up like the big, and it's like the faculty like organizing themselves in terms of like, yeah, this is where it's at. So he has them like get in a line and organize themselves like who has the most oppressed voice versus the least oppressed voice. And then they like, yeah, we're gonna get in a canoe. It was like the weirdest metaphor. Yeah, this.
In order to achieve
This here. This is the canoe. And some dude brought like a drum.
So wait, so whoever's at the
thing.
back of the canoe is the least oppressed because they're the highest ranking.
I forget. I mean, that's the dude that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because that was a conclusion I came to. But apparently the fat white bitch at the front.
I have no idea.
Is the most depressed, but she's more oppressed than the woman in the wheelchair. Like, what the fuck?
It's yeah. I forget. I could be mixing it up here, but it's not a huge stretch here that happens. But yeah, basically they force the faculty to like admit their privilege, all this shit. It's just like the craziest story ever. It will make you
dude. I'm already getting mad because I'll tell you right now, if I was the fucking head of that fucking faculty, I'd be fucking getting the fucking cops, the what do you call them, the campus police, in to round up all those motherfuckers, eject them, then round up all the faculty who fucking participated in that, and fucking telling them, you know what, you're all fucking fired, you motherfuckers.
Well, it was like
fucking bullshit. I would not stand for any of that shit.
No, they tried what, like it was in the episodes before. So rumors get out, Brett Weinstein surrounded by people, he's being held down by them, and they'll say that they weren't, but they essentially were. Like it was like a peaceful but in your face mob where it could just turn on a dime. And so campus police does show up, but they're very limited in what they can do. And there's only two. I think they only had 2 people like there on the campus. And what they did is they say, they literally say, white people to the front. So they block the police. Like they just form a blockade of just bodies to keep them from getting to. Like,
was that on the bridge?
It was on like one of the walkways. But
and there was like an elderly man trying to get through.
I can't remember everything, but essentially this dude, one of the officers tries to get through, and he's like basically like, you guys are obstructing. You need to move out of the way, and they just do this whole like power trip of chanting and yelling down.
Yeah, that's what is it, the Westboro Baptist Church tactic of like antagonize people so that then they'll like lash out at you when you antagonize them enough, and then you can, once they do that, because it sounds like if they created enough of a disturbance, then the police would have to show up, clear them out.
Well, right, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, and then they can turn around and say, look, the police are beating us up, and then there's like bad press. It's like such a fucking dirty, underhand tactic. It's like comes back to when I was talking earlier in the stream about the fucking Psychopath's Handbook, where it's like, invent a problem, and then magically, once you invent the problem, then you can magically turn around and say, oh, I've got the solution to this problem. And then wash, rinse, and repeat until you're hailed as a hero. It's absolutely bullshit, dude. It's like they're not actually fighting for anything. They've just created a problem out of thin air so they can be important. And then once people react to it in a way that they can then, pivot or use as leverage against that person. It's psychopathic behavior, 101. Those people need to be fucking put into a fucking psychiatric ward. They don't need to be fucking coddled or anything. It's like, it's so fucking underhanded and narcissistic and disturbing, and it undermines everything. And it actually, it's to your point, it's cutting off your nose to spite your face. Like in the short term, I'm sure they think, oh yeah, I'm going to benefit from this. But in the long term, they're just making it worse for everybody, including themselves.
Yeah, unless they're twisted enough to think that it is truly better. I mean,
I
think it's what they're deluded to believe.
Sure, like in the front of their minds, I'm sure they think that because it's like that's how they reassure themselves. But I think somewhere in the back of their heads, they're thinking, oh yeah, haha, I'm doing this. Oh yeah, I'm going to get ahead. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah. They're opportunists. They don't believe in anything. Opportunists don't believe in a goddamn thing. And that's everybody and almost everybody in Hollywood. They're all opportunists. Because if you believe in something, you're not. Because then in believing in something, you are going to act accordingly to something that is greater than yourself. Or at least that's my understanding of it. What do you think, Lucius?
Yeah, I mean, belief will make people do all sorts of crazy shit. Do shit they wouldn't normally do under any other circumstances.
No, what I'm saying is like to be an opportunist means you don't believe in anything. Whereas if you believe in something where it's like, when I say believe in something, I mean, believe in something bigger than yourself, right? Like for me, I believed in the idea of America. Like that's the whole thing about America. It's this belief in freedom, right? In agency, in liberty and freedom. Oh, I already said freedom. Like these are pretty big ideas, and if you believe in those things, then in a way you're going to have a better outlook on life, and in a sense you're going to want to we got someone in the chat. Mike Wilson. You're going to want to spread that around, right? Because if you believe in, say, the good things like freedom and agency and all these other great things, then you're going to be like, hey, well, I feel great about this, and I want other people to feel great about this. But when all you believe in is, when all you want is, or all you see is an opportunity to get ahead by fucking somebody over, or infringing upon someone, then I mean, it's going to create a different kind of feedback loop. It's going to create a toxic, negative feedback loop. Right? Am I wrong, or am I right?
I mean, I think there are opportunists that take advantage of people's belief or jump in on it. I think like Anita Sarkeesian was somebody like that.
Oh yeah. But I mean, Anita's just like one of them. There's like a whole bunch of people. Like in animation, it's nothing. Basically, a whole bunch of nothing but opportunists. Just people seeing an opportunity through maybe someone making a mistake or someone saying something, and they're like, oh yeah, well I can twist this around and use it against them. It's fucked up. Like it is such a
there's a rat race element of it. I know
it's like worse than the rat race. Like with a rat race, at least we understand it's like you're just trying to survive, but this is like something else. Like this is something real fucked up because there's so many people who are doing it now. Like this is narcissism on a whole other
right. Yeah. I think it's I think you could say it's that, like, borderline personality disorder has been indoctrinated or curated through the system that we've just over time developed.
Yeah.
And essentially having a grievance and having a victimhood tale is like a leg up. It's a reason why you should suddenly be empowered because you've been disempowered in the past, whatever the hell that means.
But it's like built on false premises because you can like anyone can claim that.
Well, it's complete bullshit. Yeah,
right. Like you can. It's like being a Buddhist. If you just say you are, then you are one, right? But it's like
We're
like
at
so
that
much,
stage, yes, but it's like
it's so
no,
much
you're
worse
not.
because you're doing it to take things away from others. It's like legal theft. They're trying to legally steal things and legally murder people. It's like because they're too chicken shit to actually go out and do it. Like to actually murder someone properly, you know, you obviously got to pull the trigger yourself. I know that sounds terrible, but you get what I mean, right? It's like
No, now they'll SWAT. You know, they'll call
I know
the
that
police on
but
you, and
you get what I'm saying. Like you know,
yeah.
to kill someone like efficiently, you know, you got to pull the trigger, but kill someone slowly, you know, you just make up shit, accuse them of stuff, spread rumors, and then, you know, you get to sit and they get much pleasure from this. They get to sit back and just watch you slowly suffer, and then eventually one day you die, and then they're like, oh, well, that was great. You know,
Yeah,
and then they get to walk along and enjoy the rest of their life. You know, they don't care. They don't care that they've just destroyed another human being. Because once again, they're opportunists. They saw an opportunity, and if they can make you fall, then that somehow helps elevate their status somehow in their mind, even though it makes them absolutely a horrendous monster as a result. But they don't really give a shit if they're a horrendous monster. All they care about is getting what they want. That's selfishness on the nth degree.
Anyway. Yeah, I agree.
I know. I just get really mad about it, you know, because
it sounds very personal, and I
it
don't know
does.
how
You
much
know why it's personal, but it's like it's not only that. I just see it. I'm seeing it happen all over the place now, and you know what? It's so easy to deal with it. You just fucking kick the shit out of those motherfuckers.
Well,
But
I mean, at this point,
no one has the balls to do it.
At this point, I mean, it's kind of they've gotten rid of all the competent people. And now they're left with this mess of people that don't know what they're doing, or just mediocre at what they do. And essentially, what's more concerning is when, you know, let's keep it in the small realm of comics books and stuff like that. Like DC and Marvel are just fucking up their properties left and right. The movie franchises are the last vestiges they have left that they can possibly use. Well, and we're starting to see that. I mean, tank for Marvel. I think DC might be on an upswing, but I wouldn't count on them doing it right.
Mike Wilson is right. It's all a different story when you meet them face to face. Exactly. They're also cowardly. Like it's a cowardly way to be a bully. Like that's the other thing. Like, what's that old saying? Like, bullies are just cowards, right? In the end. That's all they are. But the other thing is, like, there's only one language that the bully understands, and that's their own language. So you kind of gotta, I guess, in a way, become a monster yourself in order to fucking, I guess, to deal with them or keep them in check. I don't know. Anyway, so that's an hour and a half.
Just wrap up the thought. So, you know, Marvel, DC are screwing it all up. I mean, look at their legacy characters, how much they've just dwindled or completely fucked them up. You know, we, on our Batman talk, we talked about Superman and how it's like now the new version of Superman is supposed to be this, is he gay or bisexual? I'm not certain. And the Superman we know also got like kryptonite raped or something. They don't specifically say, but it's pretty much all implied there. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, who is this supposed to appeal to? I can't imagine buying a comic book back in, like, I'd say the height of my purchasing was like in the 90s, buying one of them and opening up and seeing something like that. Like, it was all about cool fights, badass dudes. Like the anti-hero was kind of ruled the day in that era.
I mean, sure, but even the anti-hero had like redeeming quality.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, that was kind of what's like. I couldn't imagine like you're letting your hero get sodomized. Like that's where we're going with this. We're discussing cunnilingus with so it's like, it's just like, no kid, nobody's really interested in that, and especially in the comic book format. It's just like that's what pornography is for. That's what hardcore porn movies are for. It's for anybody that wants that. That's where they go to. They're not buying comic books. Who is this for? but this is their main franchises. They're just sullying, and then in the end, so enough of these pros think they're above this. They're tired of working with the system. It's stupid. They're having to do things they don't want to do. They're having to correct things that shouldn't be corrected, and they just decide, okay, we're going to go off and do our own. And they still want to tear it down. They'll still try to find a way to stop you from being successful. And so it's like kind of dangerous, seeing like payment processors or, like I've seen instances where some of the guys out there, like MailChimp, won't work with them. There's kind of an Indiegogo brouhaha happening right now, but it's over something else. But it's just kind of like,
wait,
it's all poisoning the well. And it's just
is that Indiegogo thing? Is that with I forget what his name is, who's got his campaign reported?
John Delarose had a campaign, and apparently it's like some squabble between him and Liam.
Yes,
Liam
that's
Gray.
right. I remember this because I commented on that. Like Liam, like false flagged his campaign or something.
Well, I mean, essentially, John Delarose, they've been poking fun at Liam, and
I mean, it's hard not to poke fun at. I don't do it because he's a fellow Australian, but come on, well, he kind of invites it.
You would hope that people have the ability to laugh at themselves, but some people don't. And I can never really read people, so I tend to not go towards that route as much as I can.
Look, if you're like friends with someone, you can tease them a little bit, obviously.
Yeah. To me, I see it as like an invite. Like I take you as like a comrade, as an equal or whatever. Like I'll give you some shit, you give me some shit, whatever. Like I don't mind.
Yeah, that's what guy friends do, right?
But some people just aren't on that.
That's a nice T-shirt you got there. Did they have any men's T-shirts there?
Yeah, exactly. And some people just are that is an alien language to them. They see it just as like demeaning and all this other shit. And it's just kind of like
their ego's too big. That's the point. It's supposed to keep you humble.
But it was like it's an active part of a campaign. I would probably feel differently about it too if it was like an active part of the campaign and I wasn't in on the joke. I'd probably be pissed off about it. Would I go as far as he did? No, but it's just like I can see where like it's a new front to go on, like as far as insult goes, and it's just kind of like, all right, so basically it's like you stuck your dick in a beehive. Like this guy is somebody who has repeatedly had issues with people, and you made it part of your campaign to kind of mock him. And so he went about this way, and then it's been like a two-step thing. There was one iteration and they got that revoked or whatever, and now there's a second one that seems more permanent. Who knows, it might get turned back again, but it's kind of like at this point just get rid of, like, who fucking cares? But in the same talk here, like, Liam's kind of poisoning the well too. Like, this is going to set a precedent. This is giving a playbook to people who have issues, who are going to like use it to their own advantage. And it's just
it's only gonna poison. That's only going to happen if people talk about it too much. If we just shut it down.
Sadly, these people are always paying attention. Like it's remarkable how much time or how little they.
Sure, but I don't really think they're paying it. Like, Liam isn't really on their radar, right? Like, this is sort of off to the side. So I think if we keep it quiet, maybe they won't pay attention to it, right? Like, they won't come to that realization. I'm sure it's maybe crossed their minds once or twice, but I think if we, keep it on the down low, and maybe we should tell John Delarose that, like, stop tweeting about it and just deal with it privately. Then and like just talk about it through back channels with everybody else. I think we can, if we do that, like, we can stave it off for a little bit longer. Because I agree with you, I feel like a lot of these motherfuckers who have an axe to grind, they also suffer from what I like to call the monkey see virus, because monkey see, monkey do. And they'll be like, that's a great idea, because these people can't obviously think for themselves, as we've already established through my rambling thesis. And they'll go like, oh yeah, no, we can do it. We can get to them. We can hurt them. And I certainly don't want that to happen because, you know, I'm like barely raising anything on my campaigns, and anything I am raising, I'm happy to receive. So there are definitely a lot of people who would like to see my campaigns get cancelled if, you know, if that idea ever entered their empty heads. So, you know, I think there's a way to go about it. I think we can go about it quietly and sort of like tell Liam, look, dude, if you keep doing this, man, it's like, we're all just gonna have to disown you, man. Like this is
I just don't. I mean, I not to get too far. I'm not like punching on the guy, but
no, I'm not either. But it's like, look, you know, sometimes look, Liam, like there's 1,000,001 guys like Liam in Australia, and it's, you know, it's particularly hard when you live in Australia because like nothing goes on in that. So the minute you catch even like the slightest whiff of any success, your ego is going to expound, like inflate to massive levels where it's like your head is basically a helium balloon. And I mean, his head does look like a helium balloon, let's be honest. But you know, with guys like that, you kind of just gotta like quietly sit them down just for a minute and just say, and just explain it to them and say, look, dude, like that's not cool, all right? Like you know, what you're doing is like what you said, Lucius, like it's setting a precedent, right? And like people who are out there who who like to destroy small businesses, as we've seen them do, they're going to see that, and you're going to put an idea in their head, and then it's not only going to impact us, but it's going to impact you as well, right? So if you
I mean, I think he it's been like a long road. I haven't paid close attention to him, so I could be completely off the mark, but I remember when he was basically the host. He was the Jerry Springer show. There were people at each other's throats and throwing accusations and all this stuff. And he was basically the intermediary. He was the host. I'll bring on so-and-so who's got a problem with so-and-so, and we'll just talk it out. And he tried to be like a mediator. And it's just like, yeah, that doesn't really work. And you're not really, A, you're not really qualified to do this. But B, like you're asking for this to blow back on you.
Yeah.
Like essentially, like you put yourself on this thing, somebody's gonna think you're on the side of somebody else, and then it's gonna become an entire group of people against you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also, but that's like, you know what I mean? Like even that unto itself is bullshit. Because, you know, like in the past, people have been like, because, you know, obviously I've been friends with guys like Doug and that, and then people, I think it was Noel who said, oh, you know, people are worried that maybe you might be a spy, Luke. And I just, you know, I'm just like, what? That's just bullshit. I'm nobody's spy. I'm just me. I'm my own person, you know. I don't subscribe to that bullshit. And it's just, it's ridiculous that that's sort of, because you're right. Yeah, some people would view it that way. And it's sad, and it's terrible that that's sort of what things devolved to eventually. That because I think at one point I had actually like humored the idea that, you know, maybe I could do something like that, where it's like people who have, I guess, a beef or differing opinions, I would bring them on and be like, hey guys, you know, let's just hash it out and see if we can work it out. But I mean, I eventually, you know, I was like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Like that kind of stuff, you kind of got to sort out in private. Like the minute you put it on display, then it becomes a circus, and that's where everything unravels.
And you got to be okay with it being a circus, and with you potentially being at odds with everyone involved. I think you have to have like a devil may care. Like you're not in it to be a part of it. You're in it for the circus act. Like that's what you're in it for.
That's exactly right. Like people, so I think people will subconsciously make that inference where it's like, well, he's got them on their channel doing this thing, so he's in it just for the clout, you know what I mean, for the spectacle. And yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, even if you're not, like, I wouldn't want it to be a spectacle, but no, it's something you got to sort out in private, away from the quote unquote camera or the online camera, and you know, then just, you know, bury the hatchet and go about your business, so to say. So
yeah. But yeah, that's I was gonna keep that one like out of mind, but we went about hitting it up anyway. So
I know.
y-
I mean, these things inevitably happen. I mean, I don't look. I've been there, and drama is not. It's such a waste of time and energy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
yes,
It's like we all know why we're here and why we're doing this, right? Like everything's in this. The system is crumbling, and you know, we're trying to band together, create a better network where we all benefit. You know, like a rising tide raises all ships. But it's
Yep.
like it's particularly hard with artists because it's almost like trying to herd cats.
yeah, for
Because
sure.
I mean, artists we're a very eclectic, independent group of people who see the world very differently from each other, and you know, there's also a lot of ego in there because you know, artists are probably some of the most narcissistic people out there. If you think about it, because it's like, you know,
Can be. It can also be
can
very
be.
humbling. Like
They can, yeah. I mean,
Like,
I've when I was younger, I've definitely been more on the narcissistic side and egotistical side, but thankfully, you know, time has tempered me. So it is what it is. So
yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever solve it. It's like human nature.
No, we won't. We won't. But you know, you can at least do better for yourself. So
Yeah, and you know, try and do better for other people as well, or
Yeah.
as much as you can. I know, you know, times are tough right now, so just do your best.
we'll make that our final thought.
Yeah.
So thanks, Mike Wilson, coming by. Anyone
Yeah,
else who
thanks,
dropped
Mike.
in and sat through our misery.
Oh my god, no! I feel like,
expressed.
you know, we got through some shit. It
Yeah.
was misery. I mean, it did get a little.
To
sad
find
here
the
and there.
silver lining. Yeah.
Well, there was some good things as well. Second Gods did well. That was good.
Yeah. Congrats, dude. I was sure you're gonna make it.
Thanks. I wasn't, as you know.
You had a little inspiration and it suited you well. So
Well,
congrats on that,
you
man.
know what? I think you and J Dollar deserve a little bit of credit for some of that inspiration, because I think it was the last stream where I left a little early because I was tired and I wanted to go to bed, and then you kept talking, and J Dollar was talking about. I think you had like a little bit of a powwow about how I was going about things, right? And I listened to it, and I think J Dollar said, what was the one thing he said? You can never be sad, right?
Maybe something like that. I'm not certain, but yeah, you always gotta. I feel like if you're selling your product, man, your product is the best shit on the face of the planet.
Oh yes, I'm
Like-
always trying to do that, but I think the joke I was going to make was like, you know, when I heard him say that, I was like, I wish I could have gone back on there and said, hey J Dollar, what if I want to be sad, huh? What are you gonna do then, huh? But you know, that's just me being silly. But no, I mean, I listened to what you guys said, and it, you know, I turned it over in my mind. I was like, It's like, you know what? I think, you know, they're making a lot of really good points. And so, you know, I kind of went away and I kind of thought about it. I was like, I should really try and think of new ways of sort of doing that. And that's why I did like the Twitter ads thing, which is a bad idea, but at least I tried. That cost me more money I already been all over that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, there was the Ethan thing, and J Dollar was actually in the chat, and he actually he was like, you know, he commented like, nice, fresh Luke. And I was gonna comment back, but I was too busy like you know, pumping my fists in the air. So you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta. Things might be hard, but you just gotta keep trying. So
Right. All right. Well, good point to sign off. Thanks for showing up.
yes.
This is your
So
boy
thank you for
Lucius
having me.
and Fresh
It's
Luke.
always excellent. I always love coming on here.
All right, man. Good night, everybody.
Stay fresh.